guest, the talented actor you know from Romeo and Juliet on Broadway and the hit Netflix series Heartstopper. He stars in Warfare, which is in theaters and IMAX everywhere April 11th. Let's take a look.
How's it going, Dozer?
Sector 6 tracking. Sector 6 out.
Huh? How's it going?
It's going well. That's that new guy energy.
Please welcome to the show, Kit Connor, everybody. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm very happy to have you here with us.
I'm happy to be here.
We're also very happy to have you back in New York City. You were here, I guess, earlier this year. You closed Romeo and Juliet on Broadway.
I did,
with
yeah.
Rachel Zegler. Are you enjoying being in the city without the pressure of an 8-show week?
I love it. I love it. I didn't realize how much I missed it until I got here. And I was like, wow. Because it's been about 2 months, I'd say.
Yeah.
Since we finished. Yeah, it's nice to be able to sleep.
Yeah.
And not have to, stay up late and break my body.
You can go to a dinner this evening? Yeah.
I can also, I can legally drink alcohol now, which is nice.
Oh, that's nice. It was a physically taxing show, Romeo and Juliet, which people, might not expect.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where the theater went crazy when you do this every night. You had to jump up to the balcony and pull yourself up. And you know what? Actually, I think the casting came down to you and me, and I was like, I can't do that. I wanted a little trampoline. I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
Was this? Were there nights where you were worried in the moment, like, oh, the approach was wrong?
Yeah. I mean, there was one night where the stage didn't open.
Okay.
Which meant that normally you see there's a little kind of step that I can jump off.
Yeah.
Whereas it didn't open, so it meant that I had to jump about twice as high. And I kind of caught it with one hand and just about managed to get up. But I spent the whole scene, we did the balcony scene, and I spent the whole time working out whether or not it was, like, doable, essentially.
Yeah. That's so funny because, of course, you want to be in the moment, but also you're like, is this thing going to come up?
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. The noises that bed made when there were a few points where I thought I might take it down.
You had filmed Warfare before you did this, and the training for that was really intense and actually probably helped with the how taxing physically Romeo and Juliet was. But this was 3 full weeks of combat training?
It was, yeah. It was three weeks of combat training. We did firearms training. We did physical strength training. We did like tactical training, and a lot of just kind of bonding as well with the boys. One
of the pieces of bonding you did with your cast, you collectively decided to all shave your heads before you started shooting.
Yeah. First night.
And who makes that? Who's the first one who's like, I got an idea?
It was Michael Gandolfini.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful actor.
He was a wonderful actor, even better human. And I didn't know him at this point. He was really obsessed with the idea of shaving each other's heads, and I was like, okay, but it was a great bonding experience.
You shaved each other's heads? Wow.
Charles Melton shaved mine. Which was nice.
Gotcha.
It was cool.
Of the cast, do you feel like Charles was one of the better guys to get paired up with?
He kind of he cares a lot about, he's good. He's got great hair. So
okay.
I think he was making sure that we were all sort of taking care of our scalps and things.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, people don't think about the scalps. They're just just get rid of the hair, and you're like, trust me.
Some of them were really, it was like a lawnmower going through it. Yeah.
This is based on a true story, and it's directed by, co-directed, I should say. Is it Ray Mendoza, who is...
Ray Mendoza, yes.
An actual combat vet who was on this mission.
Correct.
It must have been both an incredible experience to talk to somebody who was there, while also, adding added weight to how important it was to get it right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got to meet a bunch of the people who were there on that day, and Ray being there every day from sort of beginning to end was from an acting perspective, it's like a dream. You have the guy who was there to tell you if you're doing it right or wrong. So, yeah, I mean, there was maybe a bit more pressure to get it right and to ensure that we were doing the right thing and doing it justice. But I think, we also had a great time doing it. It wasn't just kind of too intense.
You got the head shaved in the beginning. When did you get cast tattoos? When did that happen? At the end, or was that at the beginning as well?
That was the day after our last day.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so
and whose idea was that?
I think it was Michael Gandolfini.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So he's a lot of. I mean, this guy. You want this guy? This guy's a real glue guy.
He just really wanted us to be friends.
Yeah.
It was nice. Yeah, I mean, I think we were all down to do it, and we spent a long time trying to work out what it was going to be. And we ended up picking this "Call on Me," which is a sort of reference to the song that plays at the beginning of the film. But yeah, I mean, I was sort of thinking maybe I might regret this when it happens.
Yeah.
But then, no, I wake up and every day I look at my arm and I go, that happened. That was great.
Now, are you worried about the next time you work on a film if someone says, "Hey, we should get cast tattoos"? Like, do you feel like now that you've established that you're willing to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the bar's pretty high now, so I'm gonna try and be extra careful.
Yeah.
But you know, hopefully, but you know, the goal is to do enough good jobs that by the time I'm like 60, I'll have a full sleeve.
Oh, great. I think that's a good thing to aim for. That's great.
Yeah.
This is very different in tone from the show I think a lot of people were first introduced to you with, which was Heartstopper. Congratulations.
Thank you.
3 seasons.
Yeah.
Wonderful show, and a show that really, I mean, came out of nowhere. Did you have any expectation when you were making it that it would become this sort of worldwide phenomenon?
No, it was tiny, you know. It was a tiny little British show that we shot it in this place called Slough, which is exactly as awful as it sounds.
Yeah. I think where the Office, the first British Office took place.
The British Office is set there. I mean, it wasn't supposed to go anywhere. I think we just felt that it was really special and a really beautiful little show, and yeah, so it's always nice when jobs like that actually end up doing quite well. It's always nice when people actually like the
at what point in making the 3 seasons did it become the sort of phenomenon it was? Like by the time you were filming the second season, had it blown up?
Yeah, I'd say so. Probably by the time we started the second, I think it was still tiny. You know?
Right.
We were still doing it on this tiny little school in Slough, but it did feel suddenly like, okay, there are more eyes on us and people care a lot about it, which is, it's only good things, you know.
Yeah, but it's so wonderful, and when people care about a show like that, especially a show that I think, you know, for a lot of people feels new and like something they haven't seen before, and they feel a level of representation, does it like, I don't know, raise the burden of how good you want it to be? Like when you're like, oh man, people really care about this now.
Yeah, well, you know, I just don't want it, I never want it to be bad. I always want it to you know, I don't want anything I do to be bad. Yeah. But I want it to be, as you say, you know, it means a lot to a lot of people, and I think that you don't want to ruin it. I don't want to. Yeah. I feel that very, very deeply.
Well, I think the people who watch the show feel that as well. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on the new film. It's so lovely to have you here. We really appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Thank you so much. Good Connor, everybody. Warfare is in theaters and IMAX everywhere. April 11th. We'll be right back.